Okay, so I'm going to have a quick go at some box modelling, and we're going to use a biped as a guide. Often you'll see in various tutorials the standard way of box modelling a character is to begin with two reference planes, one from the front, one from the side, and we will be doing this later. But to begin with, it's helpful, I think, to have an existing framework that you can work around while you're getting used to the box modelling skills. So let's give this a try. Okay, so we'll all start with the same figure. We have a couple options. I've got a skeleton biped as well, but we're going to start with the female. And all we're going to do to begin with is just create a standard box. Like so, and then let's just position that box. Okay. So I'm just going to give this 1, 2, 3, 4 height segments, like so, and I'm just going to convert that to invisible poly, and I'm going to go to the inside and just go to my sub-object polygon level, and delete that inside poly, and that one, and that one. So later on you'll see that that's a necessary move when we use the symmetry modifier. I'm also going to give it a material that I prepared earlier. So this material has got an opacity setting on it which allows us to see through, and it's got a bit of specularity as well, so it's responding to the light. So as I move it around, it responds to the light, and that gives us a nice sense of the shape and the direction of the individual polygons. Okay, so we're just going to shape this now a little bit and get it to conform to the kind of curvature of the frame underneath, the biped underneath, and we're not going to add too many more polygons. We're going to keep it really low poly. You'll see later on that makes life a lot more straightforward. Okay, so you may want to speed this up in the timeline while I'm working through it, and just go to like 2 or 3 times speed, so let's get everything just flowing a little bit. I'm going to take that down. Oh no, I'll just leave that, take the whole loop a little bit lower, and down again, and that loop I'll just try and loop that properly, and with that one I think I'll just scale it slightly. There we go. At the vertex level we can do a little bit of positioning to get the curvature right. But we don't want it looking too boxy because there is a huge okay, so let's get these verts lined up properly and move it a bit further and fine. A bit too far there. And so all the time I'm just using the Alt key with my thumb and the middle mouse key just to kind of roll around and have a look at things in the round. Let's get rid of those big shoulders up there. Pull those in. Let's take that. I'm using shortcuts as well, so I'm using 2 to get to the edge level, 1 to get to the vert level, let's see level, and 4 to get to poly level. When I say level, I mean sub-object level, of course. Let's go in there, just pick out that let's get that edge a little bit higher. So let's get this edge a little bit lower. And okay, so you're just going to go around bit by bit, and you're just going to get a general feel for the shape of your figure. And as I said earlier, you're not going to add too many verses. Occasionally you might add a little additional loop here and there. So maybe down here I'm going to put in a swift loop. So maybe in there, just get a swift loop there. Then we'll take turn swift loop off, and then go back into the vertex. So I will do that again. Just lift that up and just slide it. In fact, let's just scale it down. Well, actually, when I scaled it down there, you'll see that I accidentally took that internal vert with me. Well, there are other ways of dealing with it, but for now, I'll do that. I'll just undo that. And just drop that in. Okay, so start to look just about right. Just going to keep working on a bit here and there. Just going to put a little edge loop in down there, and perhaps slightly like so. And the subobject poly level, I'm just going to extrude this like so, and just be careful to take that inside polygon out, because when we use the symmetry model modifier, it'll just throw up a few little problems, so let's just be conscious of that. Let's just give it a little tweak. Here we go. Okay, that's good so far. So just leave that a bit. Okay, good. I'm just going to add that symmetry modifier now so you can see it operating. Here it is. Oh, it first lands. It's not landed as I thought. It's landing on a subobject selection, so let's do that. Be sure that you're not in a subobject level. Let's just put that symmetry mod back on. And let's flip it on to the x-axis. And let's just pull it out. There it is. Okay, and now if I just show you that material briefly, I'll just put it into screen. Just using the standard Arnold material. The only thing that you'll probably need to play with, well, you can do what you want with it, but obviously I recommend that we use this opacity feature down here underneath special features. If you get inside your material and you find that it is crowded with lots of open menus, you just go up here in the top, right click in one of these grey bars and say, just go and say close all, and then it just tidies up the menu. Go down to special features, and then in here we can use the opacity. Now, if the opacity channel goes completely black, I'll just move it to the side, so I'll just cancel that, do it to the side, you'll see. If it goes completely black, the box that we're working with it's completely transparent, if it's completely white, then it's completely opaque. So we're just somewhere in between, but so, you know, every now and then you might want to move through those opacity states. There is another there's another way of doing it where you can set up animation keys and have opacity set to different keys, and you can just kind of 1, 2, 3 and quickly scroll through. But this will do for the time being. Okay, so the opacity's there. I can still see through the model, and I'm starting to get a sense of how it's shaping up. Just going to hide that biped for a moment. Just make sure that the symmetry modifier has got a nice connection at the top, and you can see we're a little bit out. So let's take that top edge, just overlap it, and mount the revert at the back. Just make sure that we have a nice overlap there. There's another way of dealing with it. You can just actually move the symmetry mod plane itself, and just make sure things are overlapping and connecting. It's pretty good. Yeah, everything's tidy there. Kind of pretty regular. I can see a little bit of a discrepancy there. I'm just going to go down to the vertex level, just take that bit there, just drag that a bit. And just put those around a little bit. Put my shoulders in there just a touch. Okay, put the biped back on. Go to the polygon level, and take that top poly that's inside there, just click it, extrude it to the top of the head, and then take the front one, and I'm just going to pull it down like that. Create a face. Okay, that's good. Remove tool, W. Thinking that the symmetry modifier might just need a little tweak over that one. Just a little bit more, so we'll have to do a bit of work just to... It's about right. We moved. Yeah, okay, so we need to go inside now right before and remove any internal polygons. Now, while you're working on this, you'll notice I'm turning the symmetry modifier on and off. And unless this little button here is ticked, which is the show end result button, when I turn it on and off and I'm working at the sub-object level, even though I'm turning it on and off, I'm not seeing the symmetry modifier. So you have to use this show end result toggle on and off, which allows you to do that. Okay. Okie dokie. Now then, let's sort those verts out. So I'm just going to grab the vertices there down the middle of the top. In fact, I can do them all, pretty much. All the central vertices, and I'm just going to make sure that they're aligned on the x-axis. And then I'm just going to make sure they're all zeroed out down here, and if they're not, I would have right-clicked on that spinner to get everything to 0, just to make sure that everything's connecting nicely. Okay, back to a little bit of shaping now, so back into 1. And let's just get that profile going here. Just going to take that edge link in there, and link that around, just going to put it back up a tiny bit, maybe give it a tiny angle. Oh, missed it. Like that. Just ever so slightly. Okay, let's go back to vertex level. Just, again, you may want to speed this up a couple of times when I'm just tweaking things here and there. In my occasion, just turn the biped off and just have a little look at some of those verts underneath that are slightly hidden. So I'll take that one, slide it back a little bit. Something going on there. Just want to double check, turn the symmetry model off. Just double check that. There we go. There is a little hidden poly that I didn't want, so I'll just delete that. Don't want any of those little polys inside. Good chance just to give a roundness to some of the form. Just make sure there's a little roundness in there. Tip that bit back a little bit. Okay, and that's good. We can start thinking about adding a little bit more source and mode back on. Let's just take a quick review of this, turn that off, and hit save just to focus everything. Okay, looking good. A couple of little edges. Let's just get things a little bit more connected here. So a little, so a couple of loops in there. Don't want to add too many at this stage, just want to keep things really simple to begin with. So turn off that loop. Take those parts that are in there. Let's just do a quick save. Call this one 1B. Okay, and let's just have a quick review of the model so far. Turn the biped off, turn the symmetry modifier off. Let's just look at the profile. Are things making sense? One or two little verts are probably slightly out of low position there. Just give those a little tweak. Sneaking in a bit too much. But on the whole, we're getting the kind of profile that we're after. Just getting that kind of roundness to the figure. Last one was a bit dark there. This is coming. Oh, hello. Let's put that back. Just must have called that accidentally. We just have to put all of back on the axis there. Let's just do that again. So in inside range there. all of those, make sure all those verts are fine. Let's just run the align on the x-axis and just make sure they're all zeroed. Just so everything sits nicely again. There's a little twisting going on down there. Accidentally, that alignment, I think I've accidentally pulled a couple of verts in that I didn't mean to. So let's do that again. Let's get another hand. There's a slightly, that one a little twisted. Let's pull that across. Align them. Okay. Back into here. Now again, let's call up that material. And I'm just going to take the opacity down. Okay. That helps me see things a little bit better now. At the back here, a tiny bit on. But you know, don't get overly carried away with this because we can do a lot of tweaking later on. We're just roughing it out at the moment. Okay, I think it's looking relatively right. It just needs to come out a little bit. Profile's looking about right. Okay, good. Just make sure on the front view again one more time that we are in fact nicely aligned. I think we are. Keep getting this impression that there's a vert or two slightly out of position, so let's go back to my front view. F, hit Z, that's the verts, the inside line, just double check they're all nicely aligned. Back in here. Yeah, that one there just seems to be missing. I must be missing it in the selection. So those two, just align those, and we'll just make sure they're on 0. One more time. Got it. Just save that. Okay, check the symmetry mode. Yeah, forms start to come together. 1 or 2, just need a little tweak here and there. Again, we just need to be careful about sneaking out. Pull that out. Okay, profile's pretty simple, straightforward, still working. Good. So let's just drop a little swift loop in down there. Just gonna pop it about there. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's just that's good for the time being. Let's just do a little bit of adjustment in here around the shoulder area. I'm specifically trying to get a shoulder joint with 6 sides because I'm going to be connecting an object to it in a little while, and that's going to make life easier. So just do the tweaking there. Okay, that's good. It's just weird. Something everywhere. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And just come out. just going to just going to go down to the editable poly level, and I'm just going to right click and add something called the Nurbs Toggle, which is basically a subdivision of the polygon. And up here I've got the subdivision settings. Now if I go just to one subdivision setting, that one iteration, that should be fine. It only becomes visible when you click on the symmetry mode. And then it just gives you a nice quick check-in to see that the profile of your model is starting to, or if there's any issues basically with the top, what we call the flow of the edges, the topology, any issues, it becomes pretty apparent. You get pinching and creasing and whatever, but at the moment you can see that the quads are all flowing quite nicely across the shoulders. There doesn't seem to be any standout issues. We can refine all the details later, but at the moment things are adding up and staying pretty much as we'd expect them to, or hope them to at least. Okay, have you ever seen Anthony Gormley's figures on, is it Morecambe Bay? He has this sequence of 99 steel figures on Morecambe Bay. It kind of look a little bit like this actually. The casts of his body, they're kind of rounded off, but anyway, that's another diversion. So right click, back on the poly, and I'm just going to turn those nerves off. And up there, turn the iterations to 0, and we're back in there. Okay, let's have a little look now. I think what I'll do is I'll stop for the moment, save this as like part 1, and process it, and then upload it so that each video is not taking an absolute age to upload, because I'm already on 27 minutes. So I'll just pause this for a second, process it, and I'll come back to it. Okay.